And focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. And while you're focusing to the sound, gently close your eyes and mentally relax your body, relax your breathing, relax your mind with your thoughts. And just follow the sound. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in this meditation session, we mainly going to practice tranquility meditation and insight meditation. So, tranquility meditation means samatha bhavana or samatha mental culture or chitta bhavana. And insight meditation is vipassana mental culture or insight meditation or panya bhavana. So, in the beginning, you have to understand and be very clear the difference in between these two techniques. So in samatha meditation, in samatha mental culture, we allow our mind to settle down and stay in one place. And because we have developed a nature, always mind go with ideas or the thoughts and related to time and space, jumping here and there, and holding to desires and clinging to desires and always moving. But when the mind is moving in process with things, you cannot make it used to observe or analyze. So you have to allow to settle down the mind. Even it's kind of like a way that when you observe physically, when you observe through a telescope or through a microscope, if the telescope or the microscope is always moving, you cannot clearly get the target. So you have to get into a position to find the balance. And in that balance, when the mind able to settle down and your focus going to become sharp and clear. Because even though you're not aware, this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind always settle down and always follow, become comfortable with the movements. And deeper inside you think that you thinking or the way you that live or the maintain happen according to the outside condition. So that's why mostly when earthquake happen and your entire nerve system break down, because all this material become kind of like a liquid. And then sometimes the sound make you unbalanced. So even when the kind of like a big, huge explosion happens, the sound can make you unbalanced without hitting anything physically to your body. So your eyes the same. You feel more comfortable, secure, relaxed when other things settle down. So your eyes always with connection with the outside. So that's why we close our eyes, because it help you to completely detach the connection with this outside. But there are some meditation techniques, you may know that they keep open the eyes. Why? Because sometimes that when in according to some teachings, when you close your eyes, you caught up with your mind and you cannot sometimes get out of it. You go with the thoughts. So anyhow, in this meditation, we keep close our eyes and we, with the clear attention and with the clear intention, we focus to observe the, the sensation or the feelings. And in conventionally, we get the inhalation, exhalation as our primary mental object. So remember, our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind always depending from this environment. So mentally, we are prisoners, always, breath by breath, this entire our body, depending from this outside. And also it creates the desires, thoughts, emotions, the fear, this everything. In even from time like tomorrow or yesterday, see all the things maybe keep doing your whole day, that whatever you spend today, if you think very carefully, sometimes you have major the purpose, you have done this everything thinking about tomorrow. See, then you already become a prisoner to tomorrow. But when you come to the attention of the inhalation, exhalation, you become free from this life prison. Your mind start to settle down with the freedom. So remember yourself. In conventionally, we are more into become prisoners ourselves through the culture, tradition, believing system, even through the religions. We become prisoners. We involving, interrogating, interfering with things. Have you ever think, or have you ever want in your life just simply be you without interrogating or interfering with something? Just simply be you. If you look for that, what is the place that you have to find to settle down? That is your breathing. So remember, when you focus in conventionally, when you focus your mind to inhalation, exhalation, it's allow you to be just you. And it allow you to become free from the life prison. So then observe the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. No need to count and no need to maintain, no need to interfere with the inhalation, exhalation, and no need to make comments. Just simply be with it. Just allow it to happen completely, 100%. Let it be free and just let it happen naturally in an organic way. And when it happens, just recognize through the sensation, not by imagination. That is a very, very important place you have to understand. When you observe inhalation, exhalation, you recognize it not through imagination, just by sensation. So it is your responsibility. And when the inhalation, exhalation happen, there is a sensation arise and get it. So if you cannot get the sensation, move your upper body a little bit back and forth and move your head a little bit up and down. There are people, 10, 20 years, their head like this, they hold like this way. They never want to bring the head little bit down, and they are like this and keep waiting, waiting, waiting for the sensation. They cannot get it. So when they cannot get it, they start to keep thinking, thinking, thinking. They don't want to let go. What they have to do? They are like this. And now keep thinking about where my inhalation, exhalation, and start to blame to everybody, and get disappointed with things. So in many, many years. And then they sometimes caught up with their own imagination about light or about levitating or about kind of like a floating, about, seeing kind of like angels and fly around the head. So like that, what they have to do? Forget about that all. Just they have to do bringing the head little bit, half an inch down. That's it. But they don't do it. Why? Because they don't have this experimental mind to look themselves, what they experience. So when it comes to meditation, remember, especially in the Buddhist meditation, that is what you have to have a skill. It is not whatever the teacher tells or the monk tells or whatever the book says. So you don't go with it. Yourself always have a mind. That's why meditation, it's a cultivation of mind. So you have to cultivate your analytical ability, recognition ability with pure, clear consciousness. For that, you have to be awake, the moment by moment, moment by moment. So then you have to look. What is this monk saying always? Look for sensation. Where I can find it, because I cannot find it. So then work for it, because it is there. How you can recognize them? Then deeply inhale, exhale, see, then you can see it. So then why then it is disappear and you cannot find it? Because maybe your mind busy and maybe your mind somewhere else. So because of that, you cannot find it. So then bring attention to this area and stay there. And maybe still if you cannot find it, and then slowly adjust your posture and look and try in a different way. And then you get it. Once you get it, stay there. Don't move your body. Why it say don't move? Because once you move, the sensation disappears. You have to stay to get the sensation, not because of something else. Because just staying, the holding unmovable posture doesn't mean you going to attain to enlightenment. Because there are like military people, and if you go to kind of like Buckingham Palace, in front of that there are people, they don't move. They stay 2-3 hours like a statue, but they don't develop a kind of like a meditative mind. So then you don't move doesn't mean You just hold the posture and stay there. No, you get the sensation, and whatever the posture that you can find the sensation, you hold because you need the sensation. That is it. And from there, recognize inhalation, exhalation separately. And then follow the entire continuation, knowingly this is the beginning, middle, end. And then sometimes you feel some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, like that. So just follow it. Always stay with the inhalation, exhalation. This may not going to happen by order, but remember, whatever related to sensation of the inhalation, exhalation, go with it, recognize it. And maybe sometimes you feel your whole body become more relaxed, comfortable. Don't caught up with it. Bring more attention to the sensation. And sometimes your own thoughts can take you to different level. Just don't go with thoughts. Just stay with the sensation and allow your body, mind, breathing to settle down as one. So in tranquility state, that is the very nature. Your mind, body, breathing start to work as one, and then you don't get disturbed out of anything. You develop very solid, undisturbed mind. From there, you go to vipassana level. So in the vipassana level, you drop that all the surface level of detail with the inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation, beginning, middle, end, long, short, heavy, soft, like that. Because that all conventional, dualistic mind, comparison, long, short. But when it comes to such a things, the real pure recognition, there is nothing, or inhalation or exhalation, or the beginning, middle, end, or the long or short, like that. It's just a moment of experience. So purely, clearly get into that. When the sensation arises, forget that all the detail. Just completely go to that and look what it is. So that is what the when it come to vipassana, it strengthens your mind. Why? Because in day-to-day life, we caught up with dualistic mind and comparison. And always we compare things. But how about, can you observe at least your own sensation without comparing? Just completely 100% get into that and be with it and recognize what it is. What is this? Without getting help from anything. That is vipassana. Because if you recognize this is long, that's mean deeper, you have backup files from the past about short. Oh, this is inhalation. You bringing all that is what? Defilements. You bringing all the history to recognize this is inhalation. Nothing wrong with it, but that is the nature. So we go beyond that. In the vipassana, you don't go with this any details. You drop that everything. And then you start to go with the very clear recognition. See how you can recognize something without comparing. That is the beauty of mind. It can experience only by vipassana. So that is what the point that you have to touch. When something happen, even just inhalation, now you are more familiar with inhalation, exhalation. Now you see, you get the right posture, sensation is there, and you used to go with all the details with the inhalation, exhalation. Now you can drop that everything and get into just the sensation. Just the same, it doesn't matter inhalation, exhalation, long, short, heavy, it doesn't matter. Just focus to the sensation and stay with it. And then you recognize inside that sensation, there is something. What is that? Change. And change, unsatisfactory nature. Always. There is no moment to settle down. And selflessness. So let's practice a little bit. And get ready yourself, your right palm on your left and neck straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself 3 times. And say Supateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. We also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. So, in this evening, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also, think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation, exhalation. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation in front of your nose and your upper lip area. And keep focus your mind to the sensation and follow the sensation, please. Keep focus your mind to your sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. If your mind go here and there, don't worry about it. Just keep the attention to the sensation. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Or you may experience some inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft. Just recognize it. Just be with the sensation of the severe inhalation, exhalation, and recognize the impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness. So bring your attention to your body and observe your posture, please. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, your village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. So mentally repeat after me with clear intention. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Visualize yourself and send it as a light forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, we practice this meditation to find our own liberation, salvation, freedom, not from this outside world, but from our own inner thoughts or the ideas or the beliefs or our self-centered view. So always you have to remember that and be very clear with it. But even though our main purpose is getting to this inner freedom, we have to look how this inner freedom disappeared because of from this outside we get into a prison. It's kind of like a layers now, layers by layers. So it's kind of like there are some video games, you escape from one place and then the next place become more hard and then the next place become a prison. So you escape from a prison to another prison. So like that in day-to-day life, when it come to our this social life and our conventional life, and sometimes even our spiritual life, if you look very carefully, it is kind of like a layers by layers, layers by layers, covered with the prison ideas to hold us, to bound us. Even the very that in Eastern and Western, there were two different cultures, traditions. But now, when it come to world, it's called global village now. But in the ancient time, if you look the human history, the mainly that in the East, the people had the idea to find the inner freedom. They used to look for something to get out of this all the prisons. But in the Western, and they start to build the prison little by little, little by little, rather than say that in the East they used to get out of the prison, and according to the time layer that you go with your aging. But in the West, what happened, they start to build the layers and they used to build the prison. As example, family. When it come to the concept of the family, and they had only one idea when it come to a family, it's mainly reproduction. This is the reproductive idea and the holding the self and centered emotions and hold it to love. So that was the main structure when they build up the family. And when it come to village, now you say that you go to certain places, communities, and they say village, village, village. What is that? From where this came, this word? What is the meaning of the village? When you go to the village, in the beginning of the history, they used this word to keep a certain kind of people to keep in the same place, to keep reproducing their own people, and they hold the wealth, tradition, and believing security, and without allowing it to go to somebody else. And they keep their bloodline through reproduct. They used to marry the same family members, and then because of it's mainly the base with the reproduction. The wealth came later, and then they used to share the same wealth around them. And then the believing system or the religion came later, the third one. They used to practice the same kind of believing system. And then the security came as the fourth result, and then they feel more security. Why? Because they have the same family. Why? They're reproducing and marrying the same people. They know each other very well. And then because of that, the wealth is more comfortable and secure. And then their believing system going to become more comfortable and secure. No one going to attack. So then they feel more comfortable. That is what called village. So it's a kind of like you build the layer, you build a prison around you, not to allow anybody to become free. And then the certain villages came, and it come to the city and the state, and then the country. When it come to the city, and then it became the power. And when it come to the state, and it become political. And when it come to the country, it's all kind of like the business. So now it's a layers by layer where you can escape from now. Just imagine, if you don't want this anything, if you look for real freedom yourself, where are you going to go? Because all the forest, all the mountain belong to country, and or everything now governed by rules. And then that all the rules, or the what you call as the constitution, or the power, or even is state power, or communism, that whatever, that all they all think about that they come to talk about the people who ever living in that place. But where it finally end, it finally ending making people and keeping people according to the way they want. That's mean prison. So then when you look for the freedom, going with this social, or the going with this conventional way, you will conventionally you will never find a way, because through the social, it never allow you to become free. That's what you have to understand. There is no place it allow you to be free. Everywhere try to bound you through every way. And that's why, the well-maintained country, the well-maintained, economy means you cannot earn one penny without paying tax. So that's well-maintained economy. So that's mean what? You bound You bound to something. So going with this is the very nature of the the sansara. This is what called, because it bound, it put you from this prison to that prison. And then you think, oh, I agree. Then, but it is a larger prison than you think. So then when you look for the real freedom, it is only the place that you can find it in your head. That is the place that you have to look inside your life. So that's why looking for this outside freedom, you will never get it. Remember that. And through the politicians and through the leaders and through depending from somebody, and you will never find the freedom. Only the place that you can address the freedom, real freedom, is inside you. If you look for that, no one can disturb that, or no one can stop it. But the thing is this, when it comes to look for the freedom, we start to look and go with this outside world. You know, in the history, even when it comes to the religions and how many wrong believings people used to follow, and thinking about the many ideas, even still there are some so wrong, even we think that this is the very advanced science and technology, more smarter than ever, and sometimes there are wrong believing. And we caught up with the images and the ideas and the concepts, and we used to have a lot of wrong beliefs regarding the earth, and most we still believe the earth, this earth is the center of the universe. Still believe there are some. Forget about Hubble telescope or anything. It doesn't matter how many light years you can see. They don't want to get out of that. They believe this is the center of it. And how many people believe this earth is, solid and square, and still, and the earth, sun, this, all the planets and moving around this. So, and still, there are many things that we hold it to, that there is no base, or there is no kind of like real meaning of it. It's like a big bang. The one time this everything blow out, and then still it's keep moving. So like that. Another thing is the latest one is that the structure of the atom. You may see that the genius, the Apple Store Genius Bar also, they use that structure. It's like a universal pattern. And the new scientists, they don't accept it. They say it is not like that. That structure is completely wrong. It is an illusion. See, it's they now themselves they say it. So then when it comes to this conventional life, and when you look for outside information, and we keep going, look for the happiness, success, and the freedom, where you end? You end with another prison. Maybe you end with someone else's ideas. You end with someone else's concept. But when it comes to Vipassana, that is a place that you can destroy, eliminate, and get out of this all and find the real freedom. Ekaino ayang maggo satipatthana. That is the only way that you can, contemplating and developing your, four foundations, observing your own body, not by, looking for outside world. So then remember yourself, practicing meditation is one of way that you get out of this all the mental prison every day, because otherwise through the society or the culture tradition, this everything that we go with the conventional life, it always put us to a place to get tight, not for the freedom, not for salvation, not for liberation, not for even conventional success. We come to a point this 2020 today, you know it's almost ending part of the year, but we come to a point to understand there is no leader, there is no kind of like a person really think about all over the world, really think about people. There's no one, everybody think about their own things. So then you have responsibility yourself, at least find the, without getting disturbed from this outside, at least find your inner freedom. When it comes to that inner freedom, there you have to be very careful that the what you have to be very careful. There is a story for that. With that story, we go to that. So there was a monk. He used to go for pindapata, go for food, place to place. And there was a goldsmith. He was the best in that city. He used to work for the king. And this monk used to go to this place also. And everybody know this monk in that family. So one day early morning, the king sent a piece of a little gem to this goldsmith to make a jewelry. So what the goldsmith did, an early morning, he came out and he saw this person came from the palace, and he took it and it started to examine. And by the time what happened, he was ready to cook him. He was cutting some meat, and he had some blood in his hand. But this is from the palace, and he was so hurried to wash even his hand, he just came out and touched the diamond with the gem with the blood in the hand. And the diamond, the gem also, not that the contact with the blood. At the same time, what happened? The monk came, look for food, the pindapat. And he had a great respect to the monk. And he suddenly saw this monk in front of him. What he did, he put that gem somewhere in his house, in an open place. He just went to inside to bring some food for the monk. And at the same time, there was a bird. It's like in our countries there is a bird called myna. It's like a pigeon, a little bit smaller than pigeon. And sometimes this bird can talk very well. It is smart than the parrot can talk. So this bird, and this person used to feed little bit meat every day. And this bird saw this gem, and it thought it's kind of like a piece of meat because it had blood. So what the bird did, and came and took it to the mouth. So the monk saw that. What happened? But monk was so silent. Monk didn't say anything. Monk saw that. That's it. And the person came, the goldsmith came and offered the food, and the monk went back, and he also went inside the house. He forget that he put the gem. And then by evening, he thought, oh, early morning king send the piece of gem, so I have to make the jewelry. So and then he start to look for that. It missing. Now what happened? And he start to think, who came? After the person from the palace, only one person visited the house. That is only monk. There was no one else. So then he start to think, for sure, this monk took that gem. And next day early morning, when the monk as usual came for Pindapath, and he took the monk inside the house and tied the monk and he start to beat and ask, tell me and give me the gem. It is not belong to me. It is from the king. I have to make the jewelry. Otherwise, he going to cut my head and I'm going to get punished. So give me the. So the monk told, I didn't get it. And now he start to beating the monk. So then the monk thought, if I tell it's that the inside this bird mouth, what will happen? He going to kill the bird. So the monk thought he cannot, you know, tell that information. Why? Because then he going to kill that bird. So the monk told, I don't know. I didn't get. And then he start to keep beating. And because from the goldsmith side point of view, he's right. Why? Because no one came after that. Only the monk came. Then he thought, okay, this monk should take it. And from the monk side, now monk think, if I tell the information, he going to kill right away this bird. No, the life is life. So it is better, I take my that hold it to my life. Why this, how I can, you know, tell about the bird, because I don't want to see that bird going to die. It is innocent animal. So somehow he was beating, and the blood all came from the monk. So this bird used for the blood, and it showed the blood. And then what happened? The bird came at the same time and start to, to touch the blood. So the man was, the goldsmith, so angry about the bird also. And because he was so angry because of the fear. And then what he did, he saw the bird came and he was, he kicked the bird. And then the bird he hit somewhere and died. And then the monk told, you can find the gem inside the bird. And the person went and, opened the bird and he found the gem. And the monk, was critically injured, but himself, he protected that his wish, and he hold it to his vows, and he with that happiness that he earned, he attained to the enlightenment. And he passed away. The monk passed away, and the bird died, and the person that he found the gem. And but later he was so worried what happened. So when you look for inner freedom, The very first rule that you have to remember, don't assume. Assumption is one of the biggest barrier for our freedom. So through the vipassana, that's why to get into the clarity is not easy. That's why when it comes to vipassana, the meditation technique, it directly you go, because we used to assume with the comparison. The comparison take you to assume. If you don't compare, if there is no comparison, your mind not going to assume. So in conventional life, that is what we do. But the power of the vipassana means direct perception, clear comprehension. That is what you need, not the assumption, not the comparison. But if you depending on that, or if you get rest and if you feel more secure, if you learn to be like that way, how are you going to experience the higher way of understanding? So then remember the very first rule, if you look for the freedom, assumption. So how the assumption come? Assumption come through the comparison. Comparison is the power. The comparison is the leader. And the assumption is a byproduct of the comparison. Remember that. So the comparison comes from the dualistic mind. So when you get out of the dualistic mind, no comparison. When there is no comparison, that is where the direct perception happening. So then, how that, when something happen like that way, because everybody, from every angle, everybody thinks right. When it comes to in day-to-day life, it doesn't matter whatever the bad person or whatever the criminal person, drug dealers, terrorists, everybody in the society. When it comes to that, their life, everybody think they are right. And you don't believe that all the bad people do all the bad things looking for something good for them. It is so difficult even to mentally understand all the bad people. It doesn't matter whatever. All the hard things, bad things, wrong things, everybody do that things from their point of view, looking for something good. So how, that is why through this comparison, dualistic mind, you always going to caught up and get into another prison. Maybe conventionally, and you can argue, you are right, that is the right thing, you getting success. So in according to, the the place or the person, according to the subject of, point of view, what is success meaning when it comes to conventional life? Just imagine yourself, for practicing meditation for yourself, maybe you have success for something. Thief, what is success? Murderer, what is the success for the murderer? Drug dealer, what is the success of that drug dealer? Liar, what is the success of liar? Telling lie and making another lie bigger than that lie. That is the success for that person. So then when it comes to your life, you have to be very careful. If you look for the freedom, remember, you hold it to, mostly we fail. We become We depending from others because assumption. But through the Buddha's teaching, deeply, deeply, clean your mind through this meditation. And this is how it affect for your life. It deeply, it go to the deep cleaning, not the surface level of, no, it's deep cleaning inside. You become good hygiene person, to this quality, and to get out of the assumption. Because there is a way in your mind. When you don't think, you understand. There is a way when you don't think, you understand. So through the vipassana, you can get into that. If you don't get into that, remember, you go into from this prison to another prison, even through the samatha meditation, even through the high mental powers. From this life, sometimes from human life, somebody go to heaven and become a deity, angel. And it is what? It is from this prison to another bigger, more successful prison. So like that. So then in day-to-day life, it is a skill, a profitable skill you have to develop with your mind, with your attitude. So then how, when a situation come like that, what happened? And how you going to understand what is the situation, what happened to the gem. So in conventionally, you cannot understand it. Conventionally, you will never understand it. But if you have the kind of like a direct perception or the clear comprehension, your mind start to see that. That is completely different. It's sometimes it kind of like so crazy. Because it already happened. There are people kind of like detectives. They train the mind like a criminal investigation when they go to situations. So whatever happened, murder happened, things happen, and no one around that area. They enter to the house, and they can tell exactly the place the person used to sit and what happened. So like that, they exactly tell they can get into that exactly what happened. It is not assumption, it is not comparison, no, it is more beyond than that. So the very first thing, this, when you hold something in your hand, you cannot get something to this. So the very first thing, then you have to learn to release, and then you open. So like that, the first you have to get out of the assumption. So in day-to-day life, look yourself. When a situation come, don't go to just quick, and action. So don't try to judge according to the way that you see. It may be completely different. I have many examples through our devotees, because sometimes when the husband and wife situations happen, they come and talk, and husband come separately and they tell what happened. The wife come and tell separately what happened, and the both right. But the the two people, so the same thing, no one wrong, but the two people understood in a different way. You cannot fix it. There are a lot of people got divorced. They had a very good family life. They had everything, all the success and everything. But still, Because of that, the way that they saw things and they thought about it and destroy that everything. So then in day-to-day life, the very first thing, remember, what you see, don't believe. What you hear, don't believe. Conventionally, we have to go with this, but deeply, spiritually, just let it be little bit. Be calm, relax a little bit, and get out of the comparison, get out of the assumption, and let your mind to breathe free a little bit. And then you're going to see something. That what you see. More closer. Not maybe, the truth, but it can be more closer. So to get into that, you have to practice a little bit, but it's going to be more closer to truth than what you see. Then you're going to see, wow, how it is possible, because I saw it, it is not like that. So then, especially today, through this media, through this, news or anything that what you see, even this, the this TikTok or the prank videos, this everything what you see is completely different. So you no need to just judge it quickly. No, just what you see, little bit relax. That is what you need. That's why you should have a undisturbed mind. Why? Because if you disturb, you go to another prison thinking it is freedom. So think about it and try to practice little by little, little by little, little by little. And then you will see, when you experience, you understand what it is. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbi Dyo Vajjantu Sabbarogo Vinasatu Mate Bhavatantarayo Sukhi Diga Yuko Bhavat. Ittavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.